your feet feel cold again, even under thick socks, even indoors, even in summer. You blame bad circulation, weak blood flow, maybe just getting older. But cold feet after 60 are often not about blocked blood flow at all. There is another explanation doctors point to that most people never hear about, and it comes with a simple, safe way to warm your feet back up. Stick around, because by the end you will understand exactly what is happening. Quick note before we go further, this video is for general education only. It is not medical advice, and it is not a diagnosis for your situation. Always talk with your own doctor before changing anything about your health routine. Now back to those cold feet, because the real story is more interesting. Think about the last time your feet felt icy for no clear reason. Maybe it was evening, maybe first thing in the morning. Feet like ice cubes. You rubbed them, wrapped them in blankets, maybe soaked them in warm water. The warmth helped for a moment, then faded fast, and the cold crept back. Here's the good news. This is common, and it is rarely dangerous. Millions of people over 60 deal with this exact same cold foot mystery. For years, the assumption was simple. Aging arteries, slower blood, poor circulation, so people bought thicker socks, heated slippers, warming creams, and heating pads. Sometimes those things help a little, but the cold always seems to return. That is because socks and creams treat the surface, not the real cause. The real cause is not just about the blood, it is about the signal. Your body has a whole system just for deciding how warm your feet stay. That system runs quietly, every day without you ever noticing it at work. It decides when to send warm blood rushing to your toes and when not. As we age, that decision-making system can slow down, just like other systems do. That slowdown, not blocked arteries, is often the real reason your feet feel cold. We are going to explain exactly how that system works, in plain, simple terms. No confusing terms, no complicated diagrams, just a clear picture of what is going on. By the end, you will have one simple daily habit that can help. But first, let's clear up the biggest myth about cold feet after 60. The myth is that cold feet always mean dangerously blocked blood vessels. In most healthy older adults, that is simply not the main story. Blocked blood flow is a real medical issue, but it usually comes with other signs. We will cover those warning signs later so you know exactly what to watch for. For most people, the cold feet story is quieter and far less alarming. It is about nerves, temperature control, and how your body manages warmth with age. Picture your feet as the very last stop on a very long delivery route. Warm blood has to travel all the way from your heart down to your toes. That is the farthest, coldest, hardest part of the whole journey through your body. Your body has to work a little harder to keep that last stop nice and warm. As the years go by, that last stop is often the first to feel the change. That is simply how the body prioritizes warmth, protecting the core over the extremities. So don't panic when your feet are the coldest part of you. That is expected. What matters is understanding why that happens and what you can actually do about it. Soon we will meet someone who lived this exact story and see how she found relief. Meet Margaret, 68 years old, active, healthy, and endlessly annoyed by her cold feet every single evening. Margaret is not a real patient in a clinical study, just an example many people over 60 will recognize right away. Let's follow Margaret's story together as we explain, step by step, what is really happening inside an aging body. Margaret first noticed her feet felt cold even while the rest of her body, hands included, felt perfectly warm. She tried thicker socks, an extra blanket, even sitting closer to the heater in the evenings. Nothing fixed it for long because none of those things addressed the actual reason behind it. The actual reason involves two body systems working together every moment of every single day. The first system is your circulation, the network of blood vessels carrying warmth to every part of you. The second system is your nerves, specifically the nerves that manage your blood vessels without you thinking about it. If this kind of clear, honest health explanation helps you, consider subscribing so you catch the next one. Now back to Margaret and back to those two systems working quietly beneath the surface of everyday life. Your blood vessels are not just passive tubes, they actively widen or narrow on command many times a day. Widening lets warm blood flow freely into your feet, keeping them comfortable, flexible, and healthy pink in color. Narrowing pulls blood flow back toward your core, protecting your heart, lungs, and vital organs first. This narrowing and widening happens automatically, controlled by a fine network of nerves running throughout your body. Those nerves are constantly reading your environment, your skin temperature, and your body's changing needs in real time. As we get older, those very same nerves can respond a little slower than they used to in our younger years. It is not that the nerves stop working, they simply react a beat behind where they once did. That small delay means your feet can stay cold a little longer before blood flow catches up. Margaret's feet were not blocked at all, they were simply waiting on a slightly slower signal to arrive. This is a well-documented, generally understood pattern in how the body's temperature regulation naturally changes as people age. Clinicians who study aging often point to this nerve-based slowdown as a common, frequently overlooked cause of cold feet. Notice we are not talking about a specific study, a percentage, or a single research paper here. We are talking about a general well-known pattern that doctors who treat older adults see often. So if your feet are cold but not painful, numb, or discolored, this is likely your story too. Let's talk about why this nerve slowdown happens in the first place. In plain, simple human terms. Nerves, like everything else in the body, rely on steady, fast signaling to do their job well every day. With age, that signaling can become a little less crisp, a little less immediate in many people. Think of it less as damage and more as a natural, gradual slowing down of the whole system. That gradual slowing is completely normal, Margaret, and understanding it is the first real step toward warmer feet. Blood flow itself is often perfectly fine. It is only the timing of the signal that lags behind. Imagine your circulation as a delivery truck, ready and fully loaded, just waiting for the green light. The truck is not broken down, it is simply waiting a little longer for its instructions to arrive. That right there is the heart of what is really happening when your feet feel cold after 60. Coming up, we will give this whole system a name you will never forget and a fix Margaret used. But first, a few other things can make this nerve delay feel a little more noticeable day to day. Sitting still for long stretches, cold rooms, tight footwear, and dehydration can all add to the overall effect. None of these things cause the underlying nerve slowdown, but they can make cold feet feel noticeably worse. Margaret noticed her feet were worst in the evening, after sitting for hours at her desk without moving. Here's the simple way to picture this whole system. Think of your feet like a thermostat. A thermostat reads the room's temperature, then sends a signal telling the heating system to turn up or down. Your nerves work as that same kind of thermostat, reading your skin and sending signals to your blood vessels. As we age, that internal thermostat can become a little slower to react to changes happening around it each day. It is not broken, Margaret, it just needs a moment longer to catch up, just like yours did. Understanding this thermostat is the key to everything we will cover for the rest of this video. Every single tip coming up is really about gently helping that internal thermostat respond a little bit faster. None of it involves drugs, supplements, or anything special you would ever need to buy from a store. It is about small, safe, daily habits that support your body's own natural warming response over time. Margaret started with just one of these habits and noticed a difference within a couple weeks. We will share exactly what Margaret changed and the order she changed things in very soon indeed. But first, let's talk about one more piece of this puzzle, your blood vessels themselves, up close. Blood vessels, like nerves, can become a touch less flexible and less responsive as the years quietly pass. This is separate from any blockage. It is simply about how quickly they open and close each day. Combined with that slower thermostat signal, the whole warming response simply takes a little more time to arrive. That is the full picture: slower signaling, slightly less flexible vessels, and a longer trip to the toes. None of this means something is wrong with you. It just means your body is aging in a normal way. Aging normally still comes with real practical steps you can start taking as soon as this very day. Margaret is about to show us exactly which small steps made the biggest, warmest difference for her feet. She started simple, and so should you, because small, consistent daily habits usually beat big, dramatic changes. First, she started moving more often throughout the day, instead of sitting for hours at a time. Movement wakes up circulation and gives that internal thermostat system fresh information to work with all day long. Second, she stopped jumping straight from freezing feet into scalding hot water and warmed things up slowly instead. Sudden extreme heat can actually stress skin and vessels that are already working hard just to catch up. Gentle, gradual warmth gives that slower thermostat plenty of time to respond the way it is meant to. Coming up, the full, simple routine Margaret used, plus one more quick reminder to subscribe before we continue. Let's go through Margaret's full routine step by step so you can try any part of it yourself starting today, at your own pace. Step 1 is gentle daily movement. Even just a short walk around the house or a few minutes of stretching each morning wakes circulation up. Movement does not need to be intense or exhausting. It just needs to be consistent, ideally around the same time every single day. Margaret took a simple 10-minute walk after lunch each day and noticed her feet warmed up faster that very same evening. Step 2 is warming your feet gradually, never with sudden extreme heat like scalding water or a very hot heating pad pressed directly on skin. Start with lukewarm water, warm socks, or a soft blanket. Then let the warmth build up slowly over several calm, unhurried minutes. Step 3, and this one genuinely surprised Margaret, is avoiding tight socks and narrow shoes that squeeze your feet all day long. Tight elastic bands around the ankle can quietly restrict the very blood flow you are trying so hard to encourage back into your feet. Margaret switched to looser, non-binding socks and shoes with a little more room around her toes and felt the difference quickly. Step 4 is staying hydrated throughout the day because blood needs enough fluid in it to circulate efficiently all the way to your extremities. Even mild dehydration can make circulation feel sluggish and slow, especially in the parts of the body farthest from the heart, like your feet. Margaret started keeping a water bottle at her desk and sipped from it steadily through the whole morning and afternoon without really thinking about it. Step 5 is keeping your feet properly dry, since damp skin loses warmth far faster than dry skin ever does throughout the day. After a shower, or any time your feet get damp, dry them fully and gently, especially the skin between each of your toes. Step 6 is elevating your legs periodically throughout the day, which can support healthy circulation as it moves back up toward your heart. Margaret started propping her feet up on a soft cushion for 10 quiet minutes each afternoon, while reading or watching a little television. None of these steps are complicated, and none of them require anything expensive, unusual, or hard to find at all. The real key is doing these small things consistently, so your body's thermostat system gets steady, reliable support every single day. Margaret combined all 6 of these simple habits together, and within about 2 weeks, her cold evenings felt noticeably warmer and calmer. Her feet still got a little cool from time to time, especially in winter, but they warmed back up far faster than before. Now here's an important safety note. Margaret would want you to hear this too, because not every case of cold feet is harmless. If cold feet ever come on very suddenly or arrive along with numbness or tingling, that is worth a prompt call to your own doctor. If you notice color changes on your feet, like unusual paleness, blueness, or dark patches, tell your own doctor as soon as you reasonably can. A wound or sore on your foot that will not heal, even a small one, is also something to have checked by a professional promptly. And if cold feet come with real sharp pain, not just ordinary discomfort, that deserves a doctor's attention too, sooner rather than later. These particular signs do not automatically mean something is seriously wrong. They simply mean it is worth getting properly checked by your doctor soon. For the vast majority of people, cold feet after 60 really are simply the same gentle thermostat story we just walked through together. A slightly slower nerve signal, a longer trip for warm blood, and a body simply doing exactly what aging bodies normally do. That understanding alone takes away a great deal of the quiet worry that cold feet can otherwise cause so many people over 60. Margaret still gets cold feet sometimes, especially on chilly evenings, but she no longer worries every single time it happens to her now. She simply moves a little more, warms up gradually, drinks her water, and lets her own thermostat catch up in its own time. That is the whole story in the end. Not blocked blood at all, just a slower signal and simple habits that help it along. So if you remember just one single thing from this whole video, remember this: your feet are not broken. They are simply waiting on a signal. Move a little more each day, warm up slowly, stay hydrated, keep your feet dry, and give your body's thermostat time to catch up. As always, this video is for general education only, and it is not a substitute for real medical advice from your own doctor. If anything about your cold feet ever feels sudden, painful, or clearly different, please talk with your own doctor soon, not later. For everyone else, this is simply one more normal part of getting a little older, and a genuinely manageable one at that. If this explanation helped you understand your own body a little better today, that is exactly why we make videos like this one. Subscribe for more clear, honest health explanations made for people who actually want to understand what is really going on inside their own bodies. Your feet might feel cold again tonight, but now you finally know exactly why and exactly what small, simple thing you can do about it.